I still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. Anyway, we were walking on the well-trodden forest trails, and it would be quite difficult to get lost here even if I wanted to. Moreover, while we'd already been hiking for half an hour, we were rushing into the depths of the forest, trying to face all the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits, but instead we were just walking around in circles. However, if we take into account that Olga was our chief, this hike could be compared to a hobbit's march from the Shire to Mordor. Ha ha ha, nerd stuff. Just as Zinnia insisted, I was following her at a distance in silence. The librarian seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, don't you know when we'll reach our destination?
Or what?
The place we'll settle down and set up camp?
The whole point of this hike isn't to set up camp, but the hiking itself. You don't get it.
Yeah, it seemed I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still.
I don't know.
She replied sharply and quickened her pace. I caught up with her and asked, Listen, why are you always so... I was about to say mean, but stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you, and I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise.
Always so... what?
Well, unsociable, kind of. Or is it something about me?
Oh, cut the stupidity already.
As you wish. I decided not to start a conversation with her for the rest of the hike. Ellipses. This is pretty. At last Olga decided to end this Sisyphean toil. I don't know what those words mean.
It's time to halt.
The place chosen turned out to be quite a large glade with a few tree trunks laid in half circle to make an improvised arbor with the remains of the campfire in the middle. I'm not seeing any of that going on in this picture. Obviously such hikes are traditions of this camp. I was sent to gather firewood together with the other boys. Didn't take long because there were a lot of branches and logs of various sizes lying around. Eventually Olga lit the fire using some old newspapers. I was eager to know what was written there, but couldn't discern anything other than the Soviet symbols. Pioneers took their place on the fallen log benches and started to talk about things. It seemed that the final goal of this event had been achieved. The only things missing were a pot of fish soup, aluminum cups of vodka, and a guitar. But I wouldn't be surprised if all these would appear somehow. What are you talking about? What are you thinking about? Slavy sat next to me. Oh, nothing special. Just enjoying the hike. I answered sarcastically. You don't look too happy. Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that. Okay, I won't disturb you. She sat with me for a while, but after realizing that I wasn't in the mood for talking, she left me to enjoy my introspection all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down in bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. But I was being surrounded by smoke and the useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. They were cheering and laughing and in general enjoyment this warm summer evening. On the far side of the glade, I noticed that Lena was arguing with Alyssa intensely, and Lena seemed like complete opposite to me. Slavia had left to go somewhere after our conversation, it seemed. Electronic and Shirik were trying furiously to prove something to Olga. Looks like I'm the only one who doesn't belong here. I'll go over here. Why not? I mean, I'm just gonna sit here alone. But on the other hand, why should I care? All I was doing was just watching the fire. There is a saying that claims that one could watch it forever, as well as running water. But there was also some third thing there. What was that? One could watch 3 things forever: burning fire, running water, and how other people work. The camp leader pulled me out of my daydreaming. Semyon, don't you think that it's too early to relax? It's never too early to relax. And what else would I need to do? I honestly couldn't get what Olga wanted from me. I don't know. She stopped for a moment. But if there is something to be done, then do it without hesitation. That's great advice. She smiled ambiguously and went back to the fire to throw a few branches on. After those words, I'm completely sure that she treats me like a personal slave. Or at least like I'm a free labor force, which is, strictly speaking, the same thing. Yeah. Well, yeah. I sighed and put my head down on my hands and hoping for the torments would be over for today. Someone patted me on the shoulder. Didn't I say I was gonna go see what Lena and Alyssa were arguing about? Why? Did I click the wrong one? I looked up and saw Shirik and Electronic who sat next to me. What do you want? I asked tiredly. Don't be sad. Is there anything better to do? Look, we've been discussing the possibilities for the advancements of the Cybernetic Club with Olga. What was it? I just gave him a voice and I forget what it is. And there's a problem. We need more guys. If you could... He hesitated. Advancement and those guys are incompatible with each other. I said nothing and started to look over the pioneers around me instead. Well... I don't have time. Can't you see that I'm always busy with the camp leader's errands? Yeah, I guess you're right. It's kind of embarrassing how it all went today with Aliana. I looked at him with surprise. Seems that Shirik blames himself for that cake incident. Yeah, it is. All the pioneers seem to be here, but I couldn't spot Slavia anywhere. I think she's angry with me. Who? I asked absently. Ilyana. Maybe I should apologize. No, it's not your fault. We sat silently for a while, and then I stood up and said, My legs are numb, I better take a walk. They made no reply. I made a few circles around our improvised camp, noticing the close looks of the camp leader following me. Looks like Olga couldn't wait to come up with some new task for me. I haven't found Slavia anywhere. Maybe I should go and try and find her. On the other hand, I felt sorry for Yana every time I recalled her upset face. Maybe this hike isn't the most entertaining thing ever, but sitting there all alone isn't any better either. But at the same time, I didn't want to go anywhere. I don't even know if my choices matter. Try to find Slavia. I was absolutely sure that Slavia was alright, so I decided to stay. Yeah, see? What the heck? I guess that's enough for me for today. I sat in my previous place and waited for the end of the hike patiently, almost physically able to feel the looks of the camp leader aimed at me. So my choices just don't matter? What the heck? At least she stood up and declared, And now let's play cities. Okay, I had nothing against the game itself. I don't even know what the game is. Should I know what the game is? But it was obvious that the hike will take longer because of it. Pioneers sat around the fire. I noticed Lena and Alyssa, who took their places on a trunk opposite of me. It seems that everything is alright. Just a few minutes ago, I thought the opposite while looking at their quarrel. But anything is possible. I really like to know what they were talking about, but it's impossible now, and I could feel tiredness growing in me more and more. My mind was completely blank. To be precise, my head was so heavy that there was no place in it for ideas to unfold. While in my better times, my brain appeared to be a whole wide highway with millions of thoughts running by, chasing one another and causing major crashes. Now I was more like a footpath lost in the woods, which is used rarely and only in exceptional cases. Slavia didn't come back. Maybe she had something to do. But once again, there's no way to find out now. Okay, let's start. Moscow. Pioneers started naming cities. Is this a game where you name cities? Finally, it was my turn. I tried to listen closely to catch the first letter of the city I'll have to use. Oh, is it like... Okay. Goes down alphabetically, I guess? Arkhangelsk. We played several rounds. Each new city name made it harder to remember everything that was mentioned before. My attention was dissipating, and I was already lost in these capitals, megalopolises, villages, and urban settlements. Semyon, it's your turn. Olga brought me back to reality. Oh, excuse me, what was the last one? You're daydreaming again. It was Sevastopol. Okay, then I'll say London. Already used. Well then, it got me thinking. There were tons of cities in the world starting with L, but it was hard to remember even one of them now. Liverpool? Already there. Los Angeles? Oh, finally. She gave me a scornful look, but the game went on. I could hardly bear to think of another city starting with L, but fortunately it was the last round. Okay, that's enough for today. It's already late, time to go back. I sighed with relief. On our way back we walked as we liked without joining in pairs. Night descended upon the camp, a perfectly regular and normal night. It was one of those nights when dark skies, stars, and even a crescent moon don't cause any special feelings, and the chirpings of crickets and the songs of the night birds seem more like routine noises than a nocturnal chorus. Ellipses. In a few minutes all the pioneers were lining up in the square. It was quite late already, and fatigue took its toll, so our lineup wasn't perfectly aligned. It looked to me more like a line of Vikings after a successful battle where the warriors are happy and smiling, anticipating their return to their families rather than thinking about maintaining correct formation. But someone else could possibly see a completely defeated troop, or a bunch of survivors who have to march to their homeland with the last of their strength.
Thanks, everyone. And now go to sleep. It's late already.
Pioneers quickly each ran to their own ways, and I was left together with the camp leader.
And we should go too.
We went in complete silence to Olga's cabin.
Okay, let's sleep.
Okay, she said, turning off the light. I was tossing and turning for quite a while, recalling all the events of the day. On the one hand, I was overcome with fatigue. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that I had forgotten something, done something wrong, said something wrong. And this feeling of incompleteness was tormenting me. It was about 2 a.m. All bad things would end sooner or later, or at least would take a break. Am I going to have another scary dream? I fell asleep. Day 6. How long is this freaking game, man? Goodness. I don't know what time it was when Olga woke me up, but even before opening my eyes, I felt the imminence of death. I hope that's hyperbole. My whole body ached. I felt dizzy and my mind was clouded by haze.
Semyon, wake up immediately or you'll miss breakfast and more importantly the lineup.
Looks like the camp leader intends to exploit me to the fullest today, the same as any other day. I garbled something, covered my head with the blankets, and turned to the wall. In the end, Olga's anger will never go beyond words. At least I really wanted to believe so.
Stand up right now or...
Or what? I was going to say triumphantly, but kept silent. Not because of fear, just because I felt too lazy to open my mouth. Really, what could she do to me? Lecture me at lineup? Hang my photo on the wall of shame? Or use me in inhuman alien experiments? Well, I'm ready for that too. Just let me sleep a couple of hours.
Okay, but if you miss lineup...
The door slammed behind the camp leader, and the sleep, which had been about to fade, claimed my mind again. Ellipses.